we've started a topic this week called Easy Does It, and It Takes Quite a Bit of Effort. I'm going to talk a little bit about how that worked in my sitting yesterday and where it led me. So, one of the projects I'm working on right now is putting together some songs, some karaoke and line dancing for a no talent show for our Gen X Dharma teachers. And I love that we call it a no talent show. It really eases the pressure and is a bit easygoing. But I'm attending this retreat right before the in-person retreat. So in Portland, I'm leaving next week to go up there. So it's been on my mind, and it's a creative project for me. It's something I like thinking about, and it came in my meditation sitting yesterday. And I landed on one of the songs by a hip hop artist and rapper. Her name is Lotto, or she goes by Lotto. And you might be surprised that much of our line dancing is done to hip hop music, not to country music. But the title of her song is Big Energy. And so I was thinking about that in the sitting yesterday and thinking, oh, this is right in line with skillful effort. But I really don't know the lyrics. So after I was done sitting, I looked up the lyrics. And what a surprise. She's talking about big dick energy and other very explicitly sexual lyrics that I wouldn't say, much less sing. And yet I sing this song every week as I dance it. And it's very soulful. And I'm interested in, okay, what is she trying to say here? And so I put on my translator hat. And in the song, as I'm going through the lyrics, and this is right after I've meditated, so I'm taking this in a kind of sincere, like really wanting to get to know her like I could, because the song is obviously written by somebody else for her to sing. But I'm thinking, oh, she's really trying to get at something authentic, and she uses the word honesty in here, and inner confidence, and empowerment of being able to walk into a room and really feel like she can hold her head high. And the world she's singing to and she's in is highly sexualized. And then I do read that this song was written for another artist to sing, and it felt way out of her comfort zone. And she just didn't know whether she could do it, but she thought she would take the risk to sing these lyrics and to kind of get into that persona. And yes, there are many other ways to interpret the song. If you look it up, you will probably have a hard time finding what I'm finding in the lyrics, but it was the space that I was in and the interest I held for the music and for her. And so as I was reading, I thought, how far do I want to go into this? How much do I want, to go down and look at how am I going to put this into my no talent show, my own comfortability with expression. Because sex is not off the table for us in our lives and in our practice. And I really could see through her sexual escapades that she was talking about so much more. There was a lot of representation and a lot of turn of phrases that really was talking more about her feelings and her position in life. So where did this fit into my creative expression, the Dharma, other teachers that are going to be showing up and wanting to have fun and yet also see what we're putting together in a creative way? So as I was thinking about it, and this often happens when we start a topic, and I heard that this was kind of similar from people talking about their sittings yesterday. It affects me in ways during my meditation that I don't actually know until I start reflecting about it and talking about it and kind of putting pieces together. And I really was looking at, after I had looked up Lotto, was looking at how easygoing and lots of effort has been filtering through my projects, my creative projects over the last many years with doing this practice. And something's been developing, but I hadn't kind of put my name on it before, my name or a name on it. And I started to kind of, have that bing, 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 like things just start to fall into place. And I could see 4 things really emerge over time with the way I work on creative projects. And I saw that sometimes I go very slowly. I really need to work on one thing at a time, and I need lots of space in between, pausing and resting, and not too much clutter. And that, in a sense, is very similar to a meditation practice for me. Sometimes I need more space and time and not so much clutter. I need more rest. But other times, and often for me, I'm working on a few projects at the same time, and I'm tracking a lot of things, and I'm basically going back and forth from different projects and dipping into things and then seeing where they overlap. And just seeing like, where does Lato's song about energy really fit in with James Taylor's I Want a Friend? Or I can't remember, I think that's the title of the song that I'm thinking of, or John Lennon's Imagine. Like, how do these go together? And I'm much more comfortable with really dipping into different types of creativity, writing, art, singing, and letting them overlap in strange ways. Very similar to in meditation, where we let our minds go to different pieces of our life or different situations, and then something kind of new can come from that overlap. And another thing is that I've taken up Annie Lamott's Shitty First Draft, and that everything has a shitty first draft, that first form is not so important. It's more important to get things out, to start somewhere. And we've really adopted something similar by doing free form writing in our practice, and that's become a big part of meditation, of journaling, of just putting something down on the paper and then editing and refining as you go along. And this was the kind of the most surprising for me, was that I found that I'm often setting intentions and that the details of the projects emerge over time and that the results are really out of my hands. And I thought, oh, that's something that has really developed for me. That sounds more easygoing than the way I used to do projects. Like, I got to get them done. I've got deadlines. I have to, this has to look a certain way, or again, be in a certain form to be finished. And what was surprising to me is I've always thought that, if you start with an intention, you have to keep it. Like, that's the way it goes. And I saw, oh, my intentions change as my projects change, as I grow, as different conditions come in. And that intention setting is as subject to uncertainty and impermanence as everything else. And that I really liked that flexibility of knowing that has developed, that's a skill that's been developed in my creative projects. So I think, over the years, the idea that a lot of effort has been kind of more predominant for me, that the easygoing would take away from the skill of really trying hard or putting a lot of effort into something. But I found over the years that it's actually tempered. It's tempered with aging. It's tempered with some wisdom, with some diminishment of capacity, but that it actually is much more balanced in the creative realm in a kind of interesting way. I think I'm done. Yeah, that's it for this morning.